I'd like to start with a brief introduction of Best Western and tell you about some of the things that we've been doing and some of the awards that we have won. And then I'd like to share some observations with you, things that I pick up along the way, and hopefully you'll find that to be useful to you. So let me start with our company. Best Western was founded in 1946 by M.K. Gooden. Does anyone know of a hotel brand that's older than 1946? No, you wouldn't, because Best Western is the most senior hotel brand. It's been in existence longer than Holiday Inn or Hampton or Hyatt or Marriott or Hilton. So it's the longest serving brand. We have a wide distribution. We are in 110 countries. You can see that on the map, we're well represented in all the continents in the world. We have probably, by a single brand, the widest distribution. In terms of brand awareness, you can see based on different surveys, we always rank number 1 and number 2. Holiday Inn and Best Western always share the top 2 spots. You can see right behind Holiday Inn in this survey. We have a lot of variety of hotels. That's probably the strength of Best Western. Not two hotels are alike. We're truly the granddaddy of boutique hotels because we welcome that diversity into our portfolio. You can see a variety of hotels in Europe represented here. And then in Asia, the hotels in Asia tend to be bigger. You can see them soaring into the sky, all 3 to 500 rooms. North America, a lot of different kinds of hotels in North America. That diversity is in many ways a strength because there's always a pleasant surprise for someone to go and visit one of our hotels. But if you think about it, that could also be a challenge because if you go to this hotel, you really like it, you go to another Best Western, it might be different. Sometimes that could be disappointing. So for that reason, we decided to launch the Descriptive Program. And basically all it does is these 3 descriptors here, Best Western Plus, and Best Western Premier, describes the level of service that you would receive. It corresponds with the level of amenities and the product experience that you would have. And by doing that, we clearly convey to the consumer that this is what Best Western stands for, but if you want a high experience, you might want to consider Best Western Plus. The word plus means a little extra, very self-explanatory. And if you want to experience the best that Best Western can offer, you might want to try the Best Western Premier. Very self-explanatory, that's why we use the term descriptor. We then split up the brand, it's still Best Western, but we have 3 different levels of hotels that we describe through these descriptors. And this is a drill down into what the descriptors comp set is. Some of you in the hospitality business might know comp set means the competitive set. And the Smith Travel Research Group defines what a comp set is. So in that average rate range, these are the brands that we compete with in North America. And let me just cycle through this. This is Best Western Plus, and this is Best Western Premier. You can see Best Western Premier actually competes with some very high-end hotels. You have Hyatt Place that's up there, you have Hilton Garden Inn, and you have Sheraton, and so it's pretty high-end set of hotels. And since we launched the Descriptive Program, we've received tremendous accolades. People from the press in the industry, as well as consumer press, and as well as all our clients say this is great because now you've really simplified our life. You've made it a lot easier for us to match the kind of hotel that we want our clients to stay in, and therefore we're going to choose Best Western as our preferred hotel brand. We have achieved critical mass, as you can see on here, that we have a very good representation of hotels in all 3 descriptors. And if you think about it, 147 hotels in the Best Western Premier level, that is, I think, about 5-6 times more than the number of W hotels. So you can see that it is a pretty significant number. Best Western Plus, almost a quarter of the portfolio. So you can see on here, we've achieved critical mass very quickly. In Asia, the descriptors work a little differently. We skew to the higher end, and that's because a lot of hotels are new in Asia. A lot of new construction activities going on, whether it's in China or Thailand or Korea or even Japan. And therefore, the quality skews high end. So you can see the Premier is actually positioned at the high end of 5-star level. and then you have a Plus at a 4-star and Best Western at a 3-star level. Obviously, there are some subtleties with different countries, and in Asia in general, that's how we like to position the different descriptors. Just moving away from Best Western for a little bit, I want to ask you this question. In several places around the world, it's been reported that they are experiencing record number of room nights sold. Meaning, like in America, every time you open up the Smith Travel Report, they would say, we've sold the most number of room nights ever in the month of whatever. And this has been going on for years, for a couple of years, okay? So if that's the case, why is it that we're still suffering from an occupancy problem? In the United States, for example, occupancy is barely at 61% right now. 25 years ago, we were at 63% or so, and we still find it difficult to come up to that level. Why is that? If we're selling that many rooms, why is the occupancy still that low? Come on, there are lots of smart people here, I know.
The market's very saturated, like with the growing customers and more travelers, the number of hotels are more and more. So obviously if you have more number of rooms, it's difficult to sell them out. Exactly.
It's supply and demand, right? You have a situation where demand is increasing, but supply is increasing at a higher rate. And that's why it depresses occupancy. And this is a problem that a lot of countries are facing. And certainly in India, we have to worry about that particular challenge as well. So really, if you think about our industry, because the occupancy is not growing, and it's really difficult to raise the average rate as a result, it's about market share. It's about how we can take market share from someone and thereby increase our own occupancy and increase our RevPAR. So it's about market share. And this is a very important concept, because the days of just sitting back and waiting for business to come to us is probably gone. We have to work hard to protect the share that we have and also the growth, that market share. So I'd like to tell you about some of the things that Best Western does to win market share. And I like to call it the surround sound brand strategy. You all familiar with the term surround sound? Surround sound. Lots of components working in concert to enhance the listening experience. Surround sound. So when you think about our surround sound brand strategy, I'd like you to visualize what that means for a brand. It's a lot of different components working in concert to enhance our effectiveness. So the first component of surround sound for us is the brand quality. What's the first thing you got to do when you're worried about market share? This is supposed to be an interactive part of the discussion here. What's the first thing you got to do if you're worried about market share? Sorry?
Targeting and positioning.
Targeting and positioning. Okay, let's hear some other answers. You had a point of view?
Positioning your brand.
Positioning of the brand. Okay.
According to your customers.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
Margins.
Sorry?
So margins.
Modules?
Margins.
Margins. Very similar to what you're trying to say. The first thing you got to do when you're worried about market share is to protect what you have, right? Because if you are thinking about business isn't coming that easily, and you want to, the only way you can grow is by taking other people's market share, then you got to be worried about everybody else thinking that way. Your competition is thinking that way. They are trying to take business from you. So the very first thing that you got to do is protect what you have. Put a fence around all your customers so they don't defect from you. Make sense?
Create customer loyalty.
Create customer loyalty, precisely. That's the very first thing that you do. Because if you're able to do that successfully, later on when you use your sales marketing efforts to win more business, you know they're going to continue to stay with you because you're delivering on that brand quality. You're fulfilling your brand promise. So in terms of brand quality, just a couple of illustrations. Best Western probably has the most strenuous quality assurance program. We go out to our hotels twice a year in North America and visit them, and we go through a very strenuous exercise of looking at everything. The upkeep, the cleaning, the maintenance, and everything in the hotel. And that process forces the hotels to always be at the top of the game, always provide the best they can to the consumer. Best Western has also been a pioneer in collecting customer feedback. We've worked with this company called Medallia actually to collect and harvest social media feedback. How many of you actually post on social media? Let's see by show of hands. I'm sure a lot of you do. You just don't want to admit it, right? Social media is huge nowadays, and many people are swayed by what's said online. So we have to be very careful in terms of responding to any negative posting. So we've worked with Medallia, this company called Medallia, to create an automated template for our hotels. Every morning when a general manager comes into work, he sees a listing of all the postings that's been made about that hotel. So if there's a negative posting, he can go on there and correct that right away. And he can also take corrective action in the hotel. We're the first hotel to pioneer that, and we've won several awards based on that. And in general, our brand quality is protected because of the strenuous quality assurance efforts that we put in. The second thing that we do is to make sure that we support our hotels. We have a vision statement in our company, and that is to lead the industry in superior customer care. And I'm glad that someone here was talking about brand positioning. Every brand needs to have a brand positioning, and every brand needs to think about how they are going to differentiate themselves from the crowd. And we want to use customer care as our differentiation. And this is a very important concept for you to understand. If you want to stand out, you got to pick something that matters to the customers and do it really, really well. In fact, better than anybody. And Best Western wants to pick customer care as the area that we want to stand out. And what that means is you can be acceptable in the other areas. Now, if I ask you what's important in hotel stay, what would you say? The sleep experience is important, right? That's why you're paying to stay in a hotel. What else? Shower experience is important, work experience is important, right? Customer service, obviously. Food, very important. A man to my heart. Of course, all these experiences are really important, but you know, the challenge is nobody has the resources to do every one of those things perfectly every single time. That would be impossible to do. So you've got to pick the area that really matters and make that your strength. In fact, better than anybody else. And for the rest of them, make sure they don't become detractors. You don't have to be the best at breakfast, but you have to be acceptable for breakfast. I'll give you an example of what I'm going to say. In North America, complimentary breakfast is frequently offered in the mid-scale hotel segment. Some hotels really struggle with their score for breakfast. They provide everything that we ask them to provide. All the breads, all the yogurt and meats and eggs and all these selections, juices, everything that we ask the hotel to provide as our standard. Provide all that. And yet their scores are always lagging behind the rest of the company. Everybody provides the same thing. And yet there are some hotels that score low compared to others. Do you know why? It's a lack of an emotional connection. Because if you just put the foot out there and people help themselves, any little thing that goes wrong, it's irritating, right? Because you go and try to get some yogurt and they ran out and you have to wait 5 minutes for it, you get irritated. You're not happy with that. You give it a low score. That happens a lot. So what is the way to fight that? Well, if you have a breakfast attendant there, first of all, the chances of you running out of yogurt is much lower. But secondly, that one person can form an emotional connection with the travelers. If he or she is just greeting everybody and asking them about a day, and if she can help plan their holiday better or help in any way, imagine the impact that has. How often does someone come up to you and greet you and offer to help you? Think about it. Not very often. So if someone does that, it leaves an impression on you. And this is how you overcome whatever inadequacies you might have. I'll tell you a story about Hyatt. About in I think that was 1989, I was asked to go to the Hyatt corporate office. I was general manager for a hotel in Chicago. I was asked to go to the corporate office and head up what they call the business process reengineering efforts. And that is to help our hotels become far more efficient in what they do. So one of the things that we thought about was, the housekeepers can clean only 16 rooms. That was an industry standard. 16 rooms a housekeeper can clean. So is there a way to enable the housekeepers to clean 20 rooms? So we tested various ways of cleaning rooms, and the only way that we could do that is to put things on a rotation basis. So on a daily basis, Monday you might clean this, but Tuesday you would skip that. Wednesday you might go back to it, and then Thursday you might skip that. That's the only way that you can actually enable the housekeepers to gain that efficiency. So if you do that, you risk the room being less clean, right? Because not everything is cleaned every day. So we decided to experiment this particular aspect that I was just telling you about, the impact of that human contact, the emotional connection. So we required all the housekeepers to greet the guest. Now, I don't know how many of you have stayed at hotels, but I stay in the hotels a lot. It's rare the housekeeper would come up to you and greet you and ask you if you needed anything. It's rare for a housekeeper to go up to a parent with 2 young kids and compliment the kids. It's rare that a housekeeper would engage the guests in any way because they, by nature, are very shy people, and they think they work in the back of their house. But we trained the housekeepers, we asked them to do that. So the experiment went on for 3 months. We started this new cleaning process for 3 months, and the room is less clean. But we have this other component of human contact, emotional connection working over here. So at the end of the 3 months, in 5 different hotels, all 5 of them scored the same way. Do you think the scores went up in housekeeping or went down? Went up dramatically. Almost a perfect 5 on a 5-point scale. And the room is less clean. And that illustrates the importance of human contact and that emotional connection. And that's why we want to make customer care our differentiation, because we know it's that powerful. And you don't have to be perfect at everything, as long as you don't make that a distraction. Win through customer care. So that's our mantra, and we provide all our operations support for hotels to do that. We simplify things at a hotel and provide them a lot of systems to manage their business so they can be freed up to take care of the customer. And here's some of the things that we provide. We have prototypes for new construction. We just launched our new extended stay prototype. And there are turnkey packages that hotels can choose for renovation. You can buy them, you can buy the bed or buy the window coverings or carpet or anything a la carte, or you can buy the whole package. So the third area that we want to pay attention to is sales and marketing, because aside from protecting what we have through the first 2 components, we want to make sure we win new business and our sales and marketing. And I'm not going to just pontificate here and tell you all the great things that we've done. I think talk is cheap. But what I want to show you are some of the awards that we've won because of the efforts to illustrate that we've been effective in doing that. So just in 2013, these are the awards. The one that I'm probably the most proud of is this one. This is U.S. News & World Report, ranked Best Western Rewards. Number 2, best loyalty program in the hotel industry. Behind only Marriott. If you look at the scores, we're behind Marriott by just that little bit. Almost neck and neck. But we beat Starwood, Hilton, Carlson, IHG, Holiday Inn, and Hyatt. Hyatt is not even listed on there. So you can see that we've done a very good job in Best Western Rewards, and I think the lady here said loyalty. That's what we are aiming at, creating loyalty through the loyalty program. BestWestern.com, no doubt, more and more reservations are going to be made through electronic channels. Our website is the best defense that we have against the online travel agents. And BestWestern.com has been recognized as being the best hotel website by CompuWare 2 years in a row, 2012 and 2013. Mobile. I presume all of you have a mobile phone. Does anyone here not have a mobile phone? Mobile is huge. Bookings through mobile has been growing exponentially the last couple of years. Only a matter of time that it takes over the website in terms of number of bookings. So we want to be a leader in that area. AURO Travel and CompuWare ranked our mobile website the best in the industry. L2 ranked us the best in digital know-how, and we were ranked in the Genius category. These two brands were ranked in the Genius category, but we were number 1. That's to recognize us for our digital marketing efforts, as well as our website, mobile site, and social media work. Won a lot of awards, particularly in the area of Partner of the Year. You can see on here, Turico Holidays. Anyone know Turico Holidays? Probably one of the largest wholesaler in the world. Receptive Services of America, these are people that make the local arrangements for hotels and transportation. Ranked us, gave us a Partner of the Year award. Southern California, AAA Club of Southern California, the biggest travel club. NTA National Tour Association, you can see the Partner of the Year award was given to us to recognize our relationships with them. And relationships is so important because people do business with people they like. I want to tell you a story about how important relationship is. In 2009, the industry went down dramatically. In North America, our RevPAR went down by almost 17%. 17%. That is unbelievable, unprecedented. Our business from AAA, the Automobile Club of America, as well as CAA of Canada, did not go down at all. Their business in general went down, but their contribution to Best Western did not go down. You know why? Because they like us. That's why. They like us. We have a great relationship with us. So when there's less business coming in, they siphon that business to us. Our market share has grown to almost 50% with them. That's a power of relationship. And if you want to be successful, think about that. Whether it's on a personal basis or you work in a company, always think about how you can build a better relationship. Because people do business with people they like. Always think about that.